moment you stop chasing her is the moment she starts chasing you. You think being available 24/7 will win her heart? Nah, it's your silence, your focus, your peace. That's what makes you unforgettable. Without wasting time, like and subscribe to our channel. Let's get into today's topic. 1. Introduction to attraction and detachment. You're scrolling through social media, and everywhere you look, you see the typical idea of romance. From relationship goals to how men should act to win a woman's heart, there's a lot of advice out there. Yet one concept that often goes against the grain is detachment. But why is detachment so powerful? Detachment doesn't mean being cold, aloof, or distant in a relationship. In fact, it's the exact opposite. To detach means to maintain your own independence and identity, even in the presence of someone you care about. It's about having the emotional maturity to not let someone else's emotions dictate your own. In modern relationships, many women are drawn to men who can hold their own. A man who knows how to detach is one who doesn't rely on validation from others. This type of man gives space for both parties to grow independently, which is an attractive quality. It suggests emotional strength and the ability to stay grounded under pressure. Think of a time when you were overly clingy in a relationship, seeking validation from your partner. How did it feel? Did it create a sense of unease or make things tense? Now think of a time when you were at peace with yourself and confident without needing constant reassurance. Notice the difference? This is the power of detachment. As Epictetus said, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. When you detach from seeking external validation, you free yourself and paradoxically become more attractive to those around you. 2. The psychological basis of attraction and detachment. Attraction is deeply rooted in psychology. Women, like anyone else, are naturally attracted to individuals who exhibit strength, independence, and a sense of self-worth. Detachment conveys these qualities in a way that nothing else can. When a man is detached, it signals that he's comfortable with who he is and doesn't need anyone's approval. This type of self-sufficiency is incredibly appealing. Women value a sense of security, and a man who doesn't desperately chase their attention exudes that security. In romantic relationships, the fear of losing control often leads to desperate behaviors. A man who is detached, however, displays a form of control that is grounded and self-assured. This control doesn't come from trying to manipulate the other person. Instead, it's the control over himself and his emotions. Think about the dynamics in your past relationships. Has there ever been a time when one partner became too dependent on the other? Maybe it was emotionally draining, or perhaps it even pushed the other person away. This often happens when one person lacks detachment and tries too hard to maintain control over the relationship. Marcus Aurelius advises, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Detachment isn't about controlling others. It's about mastering oneself and not allowing external forces to disrupt your inner peace. Detachment in modern dating. In today's dating world, it's easy to fall into the trap of over-texting, constant communication, and feeling the need to be available 24/7. However, this kind of behavior often leads to insecurity and dependence. Detachment is the key to standing out in a crowded dating environment. The concept of detachment goes beyond just emotional independence. It's also about physical space. Giving your partner room to breathe and grow is crucial. Men who practice detachment aren't consumed by every text or call. They focus on their own growth and passions. And in doing so, they cultivate a sense of mystery and allure. Think back to your most attractive moments in life. Were you at your most magnetic when you were fully immersed in your passions and interests? Or were you at your best when you were trying to impress someone? The key to attraction often lies in focusing on your own growth and not seeking validation externally. Seneca said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." When you're detached, you're no longer at the mercy of imagined fears or anxieties about a relationship. You are free to enjoy the present moment and connect authentically. 4. The power of emotional control. Emotional control is often confused with being emotionally unavailable. However, true emotional control means having the ability to manage your emotions without letting them control you. In relationships, emotional control fosters respect, understanding, and stability. When a man practices detachment, he does not react impulsively to situations. Instead, he responds thoughtfully and in a manner that reflects his values. This makes him reliable and stable in the eyes of others, including women. Have you ever witnessed a heated argument where one partner lost control of their emotions? The situation escalated, creating unnecessary drama and tension. On the other hand, when one partner remains calm and composed, it not only helps to de-escalate the situation, but also adds a sense of security to the relationship. In the words of Epictetus, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Emotional control is not about suppressing emotions. It's about responding to them wisely and with perspective. Detachment and relationship dynamics. In any healthy relationship, both partners need to have their own sense of individuality. Detachment helps create balance. When you are emotionally detached, you allow your partner to grow, make their own decisions, and come to their own realizations. When two people are able to maintain their independence while still deeply caring for each other, the relationship has a greater foundation. Detachment does not mean disengaging emotionally. Rather, it means understanding that both individuals have their own separate lives that should be respected. Consider relationships where one partner has a strong sense of individuality and the other relies heavily on them. Often, the independent partner is more attractive because they bring a level of self-sufficiency to the relationship. When there is too much codependency, it can breed resentment or insecurity. As Marcus Aurelius reflects, do not waste time on what you cannot control. In relationships, detachment allows both individuals to focus on what they can control, their own emotions, growth, and decisions. 6. Embracing detachment for personal growth. Embracing detachment isn't just about becoming more attractive to others. It's also a powerful tool for self-growth. When you detach from external validation and emotional dependency, you can focus more on your own development. This leads to greater confidence, success, and fulfillment. When you practice detachment, you cultivate a sense of self-worth that comes from within, not from the approval of others. This self-sufficiency enhances your emotional intelligence and strengthens your personal boundaries. Think of someone you know who is always centered, confident, and unshaken by external influences. They attract people because they are comfortable in their own skin. That's the power of detachment. It brings clarity and focus, allowing you to become the best version of yourself. In the words of Epictetus, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Detachment from desires leads to freedom and peace, both of which are incredibly attractive qualities. Detachment is not about being emotionally distant or uncaring. It's about creating emotional stability, self-worth, and independence. Women are naturally drawn to men who exhibit these qualities because they signal strength, security, and maturity. By embracing detachment, you not only improve your attractiveness, but also your personal growth and emotional resilience. As the Stoic philosophers teach us, true freedom comes from detaching ourselves from external validation and focusing on what we can control, ourselves. If you found this content valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more insights into personal growth, relationships, and self-improvement.